This is Jamie Drummond for Good Food Revolution, and today I am joined by none other than Alice Rule, who is joining us all the way from New Zealand. How are you, Alice?
Amazing, thank you. It's a beautiful day, and just starting out. So yeah.
Yes. I'm just about to open a bottle of wine, so looking forward to that. Now, for those people unfamiliar with your wines, would you mind explaining what it is you do down in New Zealand?
Yeah, so I'm one of Marlborough's littlest wine producers. I specialize in Pinot Noir, Sauvignon Blanc, and Chardonnay. Super small volumes, less than 5 tons, and we like with the Sauvignon, we focus on barrel ferment, and I've got a beautiful new cove now. So quite a different winemaking style, and possibly the same with Marlborough Pinot Noir. I think that there's still within the region a lot of development and like different styles going on. My focus is on sustainability. That's definitely my North Star. I am proud to be New Zealand's first carbon negative wine producer. So
Okay.
my entire wine portfolio is carbon negative. And yeah, we're working through a whole lot of amazing things, and yeah, just looking at getting into the export market in Canada actually. So I had a meeting last week with a really amazing looking agent. So yeah, that's a little bit about 362. Might soon be available in Canada.
That would be very exciting. Now, most people will have heard of carbon neutral before, of course, but
Yeah.
that's you are taking it one step further. And what kind of steps does one have to take to get into that kind of position?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. Uh, uh, at the moment, the real challenge within the carbon space is that there's no international standard. So my approach is quite a unique one in the respect that we've done a life cycle assessment of our wine production from grape to bottle,
Right.
and we have analysed where the key carbon contributors are, and a third of that is in packaging. And then we have a carbon footprint as such, and then we offset 200% of that carbon footprint. So that 200% allows for some inaccuracies. We think that we've got our life cycle assessment. So our carbon footprint, what we're pretty sure, and the experts think that we've got this to about 80% accurate. Then we offset 200% of that, so that allows for some inaccuracies. But as time goes on, people are becoming more and more mindful of calculating their footprint.
Yes.
So it's really hard as a little producer to say to my label company, what is your carbon footprint on these labels? Because they don't yet know. Or they may have another supplier who supplies the adhesives from the other side of the world. New Zealand is so advanced in their sustainability thought, and on driving this change, that it's really hard for us to put pressure on, being such a small nation, being such a small market, for a lot of these guys to say, hey, we want eco adhesives that are easier to recycle.
Yes.
So that's sort of the pain point that we're in. My philosophy is get it done, don't overcomplicate the process at the expense of our planet. So I acknowledge that our life cycle assessment is only around 80% accurate, but my attitude is that 80% is more accurate than not doing it at all. And it sets a baseline from things that we can improve on and get better. But in order to improve on that and get better, we require some cooperation from all of our other suppliers.
What was it that drew you to this carbon negative philosophy?
Oh, well, when I started 362, I wanted to be that company that grew and established a business with sustainability in mind first, pre-profits, and I understand there were quite a few challenges there because everyone was saying, no, you've got to get in the green before you can get in the black.
Yes, yes.
And also, yeah, there's, that's what they're kind of talking about. And yeah, there has been some challenges, and I've just in a few weeks ago, I started my MBA. So I'm going to try unravel and figure out solutions for business leaders that they can, like me, begin businesses or establish businesses with sustainability in mind first. And when I started 362, climate change, weirdly enough, was not on industry radar at all.
Really?
At that time, New Zealand wine growers hadn't had a climate change strategy put in place. None of that came in and was put in place really until the New Zealand government announced the Zero Carbon Act. And then we kind of jumped on that bandwagon. I don't think that any of our industry initiatives are overly ambitious, given what technology is doing. So for a little country in New Zealand, I think we've got some amazing technology pioneers, and technology is something that we do, and we do very well. So I managed through the technology circles to discover a company called Carbon Click, and they were brand new. They didn't even have a product. But I hustled them, and I was like, right, well, I want to bring this technology into the wine industry, and I worked with them, and I tested a lot of their beta products, and I brought the wine, industry lens to support them, and they have actually got another big wine producer on board, which is Constellation Wine Brands.
Oh, yes,
And
yes.
they're a massive beverage company. So it's great validation that the product is sought out, even from the big commercial guys. So I worked with them and become New Zealand's first wine producer to introduce a carbon offset at the checkout. So these the founders who set up Carbon Click were the founders that they ran the carbon offset program for in New Zealand, but they believed that the carbon offset project needed to be made better for all businesses, and they needed to track those carbon credits back to source, because there's a lot of mistrust about where is that money going when I do my carbon offset. Is it really having an environmental impact?
Yes.
Is it making the planet a better place, and all that sort of stuff? So I agree. So I become my first customer, and even to this day I've got like some of the highest conversion rates on my store for customers wanting to offset their carbon footprint. And the great thing about that is that someone purchases a bottle or 6 of wine from my website, and they get a receipt of exactly where that carbon credit has been purchased from, right all the way back to source. So that's the power of technology, because it builds some trust in this space. And from there, I thought, well, hold on, why should my customers be paying for the offset of this? I need to be doing this internally. And that's where the second product or third product come along from Carbon Click, where they launched carbon calculators. And I've been helping them, even with the bigger, wine producers, as to where's the major carbon footprint coming from.
And how much of your carbon footprint comes from your export market and getting your wines to your export market?
That is my next step. Because at the moment, I don't actually export.
Right.
So
Okay.
yeah, I'm like a brand new in the export space. So I have got to start, and I'm very conscious when I have discussions with new agents. I tell them the wine is like carbon negative
Yeah.
in New Zealand. If this is something that you are interested in, and I've got to do some homework as to, and it will change like the food miles, I guess, will change depending on which market I am going
Of
to,
course.
and the best transport method, and clearly shipping is more sustainable than air freight, so on and so forth, we work through those challenges with the agent. Yeah.